run wind sprints?
Coach Dicker's just getting a little daily exercise because we have a tendency on Sundays through Wednesdays to sit a lot once we get done with practice because we're game planning, watching practice, meeting with the players, and we don't get a lot of physical activity, as you would say.
Two guys, your two starting safeties right now, George Hicks and Daniel Isom, they've both been in the program a while, but it seems to kind of the eye test that they're playing some of the best football of their career right now. What have they kind of done to settle into those spots and really up their games?
Oh, I mean, I think we talked about Isom earlier in the month. He's a football player and enjoys playing the game, studying the game, and he's played all three positions for us so far. He started out as our free safety. We had to move him to strong safety, and then even in the game 2 weeks ago, we played the whole game at nickel. So, he just has a lot of good football instincts, and it's not easy, and it's not good when you're doing that as well. But I mean, in our situation, we've had to because we want the best 11 guys on the field, and he's one of those guys. George Hicks, I think like a lot of guys when we first came here, they were in a scheme that they were playing defensively. They had a position. We left them in that position a year ago. Felt like a move to the free safety position would benefit him, would benefit us, and so far, that's what's transpired. George, one of the biggest things we've been working on with George is just tackling, and he had two polar opposites last week. He had an absolutely fantastic tackle, and he had one we wish he had made. But he's doing a good job, works hard, good person, good as a teammate, and good with our position group as far as working.
I know he doesn't play in your positional group, but can you just talk about what you've seen in the development of Ron Stone over the last couple of years since you've been here?
Oh, I wish RJ was here right now, but I mean, he drove me crazy when I first came here because it was always like, it's just always talking. But it was upbeat, it was always positive, but it's loud, and all that stuff. But you know what? He's grown on me. Not only grown on me, I love the guy. I mean, he was consistent. Sometimes for me, I see athletes that talk a lot, and it's because they're not confident and they're nervous or anxious or whatever. But no, I mean, it's just him. He's very gregarious with his personality. Like I said, again, he's a good team player. I have him in the position I coach on the punt team, and he does a great job on special teams as well. He's been showing up there. Got a little something in there for him. On special teams from a standpoint of a little bit of a trick play. We won't say too much about that, but no, he's really come on and has come into his own. I hope he can continue to grow, which I'm sure he will, because he's made a lot of plays. This last game, he really showed up in this last game.
Could you just give a quick assessment of how your team played or your position group played on Saturday?
We're all right. I thought we were better the previous game. I thought we took a little step back. We didn't tackle well in that game. They gave us some issues from a cover down standpoint. We botched a couple of those when we were watching the film. One thing I told them, I said, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but obviously I've been around a little bit longer. And I said, we used to have a saying called when you win ugly, you lose ugly, and there were points and portions of that game that we were winning ugly. We made some turnovers, and some guys weren't in the right spot. We kind of played off of one another. It finished well, and we're fortunate and got the ball back. And then, like I said, it caught up to us a little bit right there towards the end. But all in all, the one thing is it starts with effort. And you got to play with emotion, and they've been doing that. But at some point in time, execution has to really kick in, and that's coaching, that's playing, and because we're all in this thing together to get better. And when you do that, you look up at the scoreboard when it's all over, and most times you're going to win when you're just doing what you're supposed to do your job.
Before the season, did you guys kind of underline, stripping the ball? Was that kind of a big emphasis for the defense and I guess the secondary in general? And has that you've obviously been seeing it happen. You guys are 6th in the nation in turnovers.
Yeah, don't tell anybody that, because turnovers and takeaways, to me, it's always been like a water faucet. It turns on, it comes flowing out. I think they come in bunches, but yeah, between Coach Dickert and Coach Rolovich as a team goal for everybody. We talked about takeaways. We talked about taking care of the ball. It became, through analytics and that, it was obvious in the short period of time we had last year that didn't happen. Obviously, if you take the ball away, you give your own offense more possessions. I think it's a momentum changer, that type of thing. I know one thing, just in my personal group, and it's the other coaches too, we've emphasized it, but I know at this point in time, because we're that much farther ahead than we were last year at this point in time, schematically, we're putting in different type of turnover drills as a part of our individual too. So it's all about the ball, and let's hope we can continue to do that and get after the ball.
Can you talk a little bit about those turnover drills? What do those look like? How do you practice forcing turnovers?
They're top secret now. They're top secret. Well, not only a drill, but it's when you're participating in, whether it's a team period or a skelly period, you make the players aware as they're finishing of the ball. Maybe one day you're emphasizing really finishing and maybe setting the shoulder, thudding up, wrapping. Then, another day you make it all about the ball. It's whether it's turnover Tuesday, turnover Thursday, whatever, some catchy phrase, and you're constantly talking about the ball. Just putting your hand, just touch the ball with your hand. And then when you get in the drills, you're more physical about it. And the actual technique of either raking it, punching it. One drill we call a lawnmower. Another real simple one we do, when it comes to pass coverage is you're on the back shoulder, you take the ball, you just flash in the air, you punch through. 3 on the right, 3 on the left, and again, just emphasizing the ball.
And then last thing for me, Cal's offense, what's kind of key there? What are you seeing in film so far early week?
Number one, they're much improved over last year. They're a little bit of combination schematically between USC and Utah. They use tight ends. So they give you some multiple formations and some real nasty ones that can be. So it's that cover down issue that I spoke about before. So you got to make sure your alignment is correct. You communicate on that, shifts emotions. And then I say SC from a standpoint of their pass game, in that a lot of vertical pass game, digs, a lot of vertical angles and things like that. You got big long receivers. They got 3 backs that all bring forward different things. You got kind of an all-around guy that starts for them that can run with the ball. Plus he's physical and he's good in the pass game. Then you get another one that's just a big physical downhill runner. So be just another Pac-12 game with our hands full. And I think the quarterback's really playing at a very high level right now.
And then last one for me, Coach. Is there one guy that you've seen during practice or during drills that hasn't maybe played yet, whether it be because of depth or because of being young, that you think Kook fans should remember the name going forward?
Oh, geez. Well, Francisco, the linebacker, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he's gone in a half a dozen plays, maybe. That's about it. And he's on special teams, and it shows. The physicality, real good fluid in his movement. He doesn't say anything, so you wouldn't notice him from that standpoint. So when he's on the field, and all of a sudden you hear a bang. You start looking around. Whoa, that was different, and there he is. So Cisco's the man right there.